What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be giving you an update about Solana and talking to you about something that it doesn't seem like many other people are talking about. And so with that in mind, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into the video. Now, looking at Solana here, what we're going to be focusing in on today is a kind of a key indicator as to why what we are seeing from Solana has been actually pretty damn good. You know, Solana's price has been down over the last few weeks. We're here on the weekly charts, and what you can see, let's actually just clear everything off. Here we go. And what you can see is that Solana hasn't really been doing much, right? We saw this absolutely beautiful vertical move. Then we saw another vertical move, and then seemingly going a little bit more sideways since then, not really doing too much. Now, on the grand scheme of things, you can see that momentum has also slowed down a little bit, but realistically, that's what you would expect, and that's normal, and it's not something that I'm super concerned about, especially considering the fact that off of its floor, you know, off of down here, actually a little bit lower, sorry. Let's go even further down here. Boom. Solana is up a grand whopping beautiful damn near 2,000%. And there you go for all of you people who say Solana's boring. So what does this mean though? I mean, obviously that's, you know, that's cool and all, but realistically, what's going on right now? I think that's what people want to know, right? What's going on right now? Well, what's going on right now is that Solana's price has been going quite sideways for the last few months. You know, realistically, since March 11th of 2024 all the way to now, we've not really seen too much happening. Obviously, we did see the pullback and some recovery and pullback, recovery, etc., but nothing too crazy. Now, a lot of people look at this as a bad thing, right? A lot of people look at this and say, "Oh, Solana's dead. It's boring. Blah blah blah. Let my dumb detector go off. Yada yada yada. All this other shit." Right? And then they'll also say, well, this is a sign as momentum is waning that we're going to see Solana's price crash, right? That's kind of what people are saying, and that's kind of what their thoughts are. Now, I personally see it from a different perspective, and what we are seeing from one specific tool is kind of implying to me that we actually are seeing Solana do something very good throughout this cool down, good throughout this pullback, that could allow it to continue to the upside at the end of this, kind of contrary to what some other people believe. So what tool am I talking about? Well, today we're talking about the MACD. Now, this is something I did talk about in my Bitcoin video this morning, but quite simply, if you don't know what the MACD is called the MACD because it stands for Moving Average Convergence and Divergence. And basically, it's just a momentum tool. It's going to tell you what type of momentum you're seeing for a certain crypto and then give you a little bit of implication of what its price could be doing in the future here. So what that means is what you're going to have is two things. You're going to have this little scale here, which is going to give you these green lines and these red lines. Then you're going to have your moving averages. Okay. Now, what you need to pay attention to for momentum is the green and the red. And if you're looking for kind of like the future prediction, quote unquote, right, you're going to be looking at your moving averages. Now, quite simply, whenever you are in the green zone, that means that you are in a phase of bullish momentum. When you're in the red zone, you are in a phase of bearish momentum. Okay. Now, whenever your lines are converging towards each other, it means that a reversal is likely on the way soon, possibly. And whenever your lines are diverging from each other, it means that you are breaking out towards whatever direction you are going in. So quite simply, in a situation in which the price of a crypto like this, right, you're moving upwards, this one's moving more sideways, you see how they're diverging away from each other, then we break out to the upside. Now, in a situation like this, once we start to see the price roll over, then next thing you know, your moving averages are converging towards each other, meaning they're going to intersect soon, and that means that some type of reversal is likely on the way. And as you can see here, that was signified by this pullback here. Now, realistically, this is a lagging indicator. It's not one that's going to really predict much. It's just a double confirmation type of thing. And so because of that, I don't rely on it, but I do like to look at it. And so there's your story of what the MACD is. Now, what we're going to be focusing in on today, though, is the fact that we are in the red zone for Solana on the weekly charts. Okay, that's very important. Tyler, why is that very important? Let me tell you why. So what you need to know is that major cryptocurrencies absolutely must, no questions asked, there are no exceptions. They absolutely must, when they're going into their second, third, or past that cycle of a bull market, need to see moments of cool downs, slowdowns, and momentum shifts within their bull market pumps. It's mandatory. The only way Solana, for example, gets to $300, $400, $500, $600, $700 is by having moments where it cools down and goes sideways, the bulls can relax, the bears can take over as we see downside liquidations, etc. It has to happen. I know you don't like it. I know people hate it, and it makes them feel a little weird because they probably bought somewhere towards that little micro top. But at the end of the day, it's a must. And I think you can understand why. Things can not literally go just straight up. There's no way. There's no way. They must go sideways. They must go down. They must cool down. They must pull back. Simple. Now, knowing that MACD is a good visual representation of this. Because quite simply, major cryptos must, while they are in bear markets, see moments where they go into the red zone. Simple as. We talked about this on Bitcoin earlier. Look at this. Look at Bitcoin in the last cycle. Okay? In the last cycle, we had this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay? And we've already had two in this current cycle. It must have these moments where the market cools down. It must have these moments where it pulls back. It's mandatory. And so looking at Solana here, this is not scary. 1 second. Let's go all the way back. There we go. What we're seeing from Solana, this now is not scary because we know this has to happen. This is something that must happen. And so, of course, because of that, we're not worried about it happening, but we need to look at how it's happening. That's what's important. So knowing that this must happen, knowing that this is mandatory, well, we need to then consider something. When this happens, when you see a crypto enter into its red zone, it has one of two options of why it happens. Option number one is that its price crashes, pulls back, forces it into the red zone like this. Okay? Forces it into the red zone. Option number two is that it has a more gradual, slow, relaxed, consolidated cool down or pullback, just something very casual that allows this to happen before inevitably breaking back to the upside. And what you'll notice throughout history is that in the moments where a crypto can go sideways or just casually down, nothing too crazy, just casually down, and allow this red box to form, allow it to go through this red zone, that puts them in a situation, or it puts that crypto in a situation in which it is very, very likely that towards the end of that move, the bulls are going to step in and they're going to continue this pump to the upside. And so knowing that you have those two options, obviously, seeing Solana's price not just crashing and going into more of a sideways consolidationary channel is a very good sign. And it's a very good thing that one, the bulls are still very much so in control. And although they're not pushing this thing to the upside quite yet, they're quite simply slowing down, cooling down, letting them, build up their cash reserves, etc., letting the whales, the lizard people, but the whales go back, reevaluate before they do start to re-enter and they do start to rebuy, right? The bulls are very much still in control because if they weren't, this thing would be crashing, right? People would be taking profits at a higher rate than people are buying. It's not happening. And on top of that as well, the likelihood is here is that the light at the end of this tunnel is a move to the upside because that's just what normally happens. I want you to look back here. Look back here with Solana, okay? Look at this right here. You see how we're in the bull market. Solana inevitably has to cool down, has to pull back. In this example, Solana goes into a casual pullback, a casual little slowdown, nothing too crazy. This isn't scary at all. We go into the red zone, and then from there, the breakout to the upside continues as Solana then goes up to hit its $250 all-time high. That type of stuff is what I think we're doing right now. That type of stuff is what I think we're doing right now. Instead of us going to a pullback and a crazy nasty one that's going to then have to go into a consolidationary channel afterwards and then a continuation upwards, it seems like Solana is prepping for this move in which it goes sideways into the breakout. Now, yeah, it might casually trend downwards. I don't care about that. I don't care if Solana goes down to 120. It makes no difference to me. The overall look here, though, is that Solana is cooling down in the best way possible. The bulls are cooling down in the best way possible. And the light at the end of that tunnel is a breakout to the upside. And that's what I'm looking forward to. And that's the reason why I have been buying more and more Solana, even in a moment like this. You guys have seen it. I've showed you all over in HG Access, which is linked in the description down below. If we do go over to Creators Trades, which is in the trading room over here, what you can see is that I bought some Solana just yesterday, I believe, right? Just bought some more Solana as it backtest support, a tiny purchase at $166. Now, guys, don't forget, if you do want to see what I'm buying, my financial friend, Connor Kinney, many other traders who are all doing well, right? Connor just saw a 231% gainer just yesterday. Make sure you do check out HG Access, which is linked down in the description below. We post our trades here. We post alpha reports on companies that reach out to us that we know are doing marketing in the back end. We have one of the best gym callers in the world, a guy named Paquetto, giving his alpha plays, making people crazy gains. We have, of course, just our general alpha reports making people crazy gains as well. 10% there, 52% there, 31% there, 1,300% there. I mean, dude, like, let's see. We have even more. It's 565% gainer there, 142% gainer there. Absolutely ridiculous. The most value-packed crypto platform on earth, and that didn't even include the live streams that we do, the seminars that we do, the exclusive content that gets posted on a daily basis. So do go check it out down in the description below. But overall, as I mentioned before, a little bit of a tangent there. Solana is doing something beautiful. It's making a move that I think is incredibly important. It's slowing down, cooling down in the best way possible, and generally this will lead to a breakout to the upside over the long term, and so that's what I'm looking for, and again, that's why I'm buying some Solana here. And so because of that, I just wanted to show you some little bit of positivity, something that I'm seeing that I feel like most people aren't paying attention to, and hopefully it does play out in the way in which we expect it to. And so with that said, guys, as this does continue to play out, I will continue to let you know my thoughts, my opinions, what I'm doing, and much more. And of course, all you need to do if you do enjoy the content is quite simply just like this video and subscribe to the channel if you are new here so that you never miss another one. But with that said, guys, that is going to be about it for today's video. I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.